making any movies. Let's see if we can actually try to film a video once in a while. Hello, happy campers. I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That is Chris. Welcome to another edition of Geekin' Out. I have no idea what we're doing. What?
So how is the quarantine going? How are you guys doing? You doing all right?
You gotta understand
going
something.
Crazy, going cuckoo.
I could talk about this stupid virus for ages on end, but I'm not going to. We've talked about nothing but that for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Screw the virus. Still pulling for 10th Frame Cinema and Scott's Comic Relief because those two places are getting their balls busted right now with all of this. But
and it's killing me. I want to go.
Yeah, I know you like going to the movies.
Oh, yes, I do so badly, and now I'm sitting there like
the rule of diminishing returns. You know, I learned a new name for. Since you can't call it Chinese coronavirus, even though it's from China,
don't do it.
There's a new name that Gen Z, the millennials, have picked up for this, called the Boomer Remover, because it keeps off in all the old people, the Boomers. I figured the Boomer Vacuumer because it must suck for the Boomers. But
That's horrible. That's so
but quite
horrible.
accurate, no? So now that we got that out of our system, okay, what do you got?
You all right there?
Hey, I'm a biter, okay? So, I am a biter. Mr. Turtle is a biter, so am I. Go at it, buddy.
Okay.
What do you got? You got a whole notebook right there, just chock full of stuff that...
Yes, we're going to get into some news, a little bit of news. Not too much news.
He swears up and down he's got news.
In case you care any at all about...
Oh, is this the news-ish episode? We're doing like one news-ish episode every week. Is this it? Because we never... This shows how well we plan these things out.
Well, what do you want?
Obviously, it is news-ish. So go ahead and talk about
we
your
can talk
stuff.
news later.
I mean, we can go ahead and talk news now, because...
You got news things to talk about?
Okie dokie, Zoomer. See, this is the fun part, because we got the boomers and the zoomers lobbing grenades at each other. Meanwhile, we're Generation X sitting here with our box of popcorn. We're just... That was a good one, yeah.
Plus, Generation X sounds so cool.
X is the only one keeping it all together right now, because we're the only ones still paying our bills. Anyway.
We're the only ones that is literally sitting there going like, man, you people are stupid.
But for the record, Xers are the ones who are still paying the Social Security taxes right now because the Zoomers don't make enough money to actually pay.
Speaking of, I just want to say, breaking news. I have an announcement to make. Are you ready?
What, you're unemployed now?
Yeah, but that's not the announcement I was going to make.
My bad.
That's not the announcement I was going to make. Yes, I am unemployed. But, on the bright side, I found toilet paper.
He's available, guys. Toilet paper.
I got me some toilet paper.
Toilet paper. You know what? Where'd you find the toilet paper?
Walmart's.
Which one?
No, I'm not going to tell them. No.
You're not giving up your source.
I'm not giving up my source.
You've heard of Frisch's Big Boy, right?
Yes.
This shows how far this stupid virus has pushed the stupid. Frisch's Big Boy is now offering pickups of online items, and not just their food, okay? If you want to buy 2 rolls of Frisch's Big Boy's toilet paper, it's $1.99 for 2 rolls, okay? This is the same stuff they use in their own bathrooms, understand. They must have a supply of it in the warehouse or something. You can now buy toilet paper in a Frisch's Big Boy drive-thru for $1.99 for 2 rolls. You can buy a big thing of 500 napkins of theirs for like $5, because God knows they don't put them on the tables. I don't know where they keep them.
You know, James Gunn actually released a little thing saying, I just want to apologize, but I am now using my Guardians of the Galaxy toilet paper, so I am now wiping my butt with co-stars. It's
I
funny.
always wanted the Guardians of the Galaxy doormat so I could wipe my face on Dave Bautista's face. Wipe my feet on his face. Well, it didn't turn out well.
Oh, that
Considering
was
how
horrible.
considering my insane editing skills, I'll have to put that into so that you're saying it.
oh,
Anyway.
I see how it is.
So anyway, so you actually found toilet paper.
Yes, but anyways, in case you guys are wondering if how the actors are doing,
Who cares? Hey, did you find any eggs? That's the new thing now. It's the eggs. Everybody's already piled up on. Everybody who's going to panic has already bought all the toilet paper they have room for. So that's why you're starting to see toilet paper start to turn back up. Now everybody wants eggs, because these people are so unused to feeding themselves that they honestly think you need eggs and everything. So people are now buying 3 dozen eggs at a time. This is the new binge purchase, is eggs. And of course, price of eggs, demand's up like 40% over the last week.
see, now you guys need to learn. The more you buy, the price goes up.
Because the supply doesn't go with the demand. Yes.
Exactly.
Demand goes up, supply stays the same, price goes, that's the way it goes.
So, I've seen a lot of people asking about why is food prices going up.
Now you know.
That is why.
Because you assholes keep buying all the stuff and hoarding it, thinking that you're preparing yourself for something.
the end of
you
the world.
effing idiots. But anyway, that's all right. It's all been done before, remember?
Yes.
I never did put that episode out either. It was 6 rolls now that I have, but it's still sitting somewhere on a hard drive that I never bothered processing. But anyway, it's all been done before. I believe I sent this out on the Twitter feed. If I did not, it was a list of rules from the 1918 Spanish flu from Yuma, Arizona. And this was released in 1918. 10 rules that you had to follow if you were living in Yuma, Arizona in 1918 for this flu. All 10 of them just textbook what we're doing right now. It's all the exact same thing. I think it's on the Twitter feed. If it's not, I'm going to have to try to find this thing and post it.
Then again,
Not like anybody looks at our Twitter feed, but
yeah,
that's
true.
about the only
I'm
thing.
the only one that
that's
likes
the
everything.
only thing. The Twitter feed we have is the only thing I actually make an effort to maintain through the week, because I'm always rummaging through my news articles and stuff. If I see something interesting, I post it to the Twitter feed, but obviously nobody cares, so that's all right. I already tried to give away $100,000 2 weeks ago on the Twitter feed. Nobody looked at it. I guess I'll just have to keep the $100,000, huh? So,
Well, I thought
you done? Y'all done?
I thought you were just-
Y'all done? No,
that was real.
that was real. But nobody looks at the Twitter feed, and guess what? I already deleted the tweets. I'm done with you. All right, now. So what do you got? What else you got? You found toilet paper. You didn't find any eggs. What else you got?
Well, wait. No, you can't just skip over that.
Speaking of satire,
Was it
and
Monopoly money you was giving away?
some things go without saying. Anyway,
It's like, where'd you get that? Just
we
giveaway, I tell you.
one. I don't know if we're going to do it in this episode or not. Should we do an episode by itself on the new Warriors, the new Marvel project that's coming out in April? I think April 15th. You finally saw the YouTube video for it. We'll talk about that on the next episode. Let's just get back to the news-ish things right now. Let's just say I've got something to say on that one.
Okay. Be prepared.
So y'all be prepared. So, what else you got?
Alright, so, yes, okay. Again, if I'm not being interrupted. So anyway, Mr. Tom Hanks and his lovely wife, Bree Wilson, which I actually just got through watching Volunteers again, and I'm just like,
You're the only person in America who's actually seen that movie.
Volunteers is actually an alright movie. It was a pretty good movie. But anyway, they are doing okay. They were released from quarantine, and they are doing just fine, just so you guys know. Other than that, there's China, who did open up their theaters, have now shut them back down again because of the virus.
But everything's fine in China.
Yeah.
Okay? Listen,
Apparently,
China will tell you all day long, everything. They got no more virus cases. So
I think
they're closing it to get the popcorn off the floor. That's what
I think they're just saying that. Oh, that's something else I got to say. Okay.
Oh, you like popcorn on the floor?
While reading that, there is
Now,
something.
That's a song title I need to put on our album. Popcorn on the floor. Michael Jackson's got blood on the dance floor. I want popcorn on my buttered floor.
This one I gotta give mad love for, okay? Because stop. But there is some people, I don't know exactly where, but the owner of the theaters have decided to sell popcorn in the parking lot just to take care of their employees during the whole shutdown. I thought that was really nice of them to do.
Here we go with esoteric trivia, instant number. What are we up to, like 500, 600 for the year? Okay. Why do movie theaters sell popcorn?
Because people enjoy watching the movie while eating popcorn. Salty, buttery popcorn.
Well, sort of, kinda. Okay. Popcorn is cheap. Okay. Popcorn is cheap. Dead cheap. That big tub you spent like $5 or $6 for of popcorn, the tub probably cost them more than the popcorn kernels did. Okay. So, way back in the early 20th century, like about 100 years ago, funny how these things keep coming around, huh? About 100 years ago, 1910, 1915, so on and so forth, you did not have concession stands in theaters. Okay, so you came in, it was like an opera. Nobody would sell popcorn or soda pop at an opera house. A theater the same way. They wanted to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out because the studios started consolidating and started flexing their muscles and squeezing the theater owners out of the profits from the movies, they had to find something to do. What they found out is that people were standing outside, these entrepreneurs were standing outside the theater, and they had little popcorn poppers on a little push cart. And it just had a popcorn popper, and they would sell people popcorn as they were going into the theater. So the theater owners didn't get a dime from it. This was outside people selling popcorn because, one, it was cheap. Two, it was all right when it wasn't hot anymore. It still tasted good. Third, it was nice and greasy, and people loved it. So it wasn't until the theater owners saw that and they realized, you know what, if we installed a popcorn popper in our own theater, we could sell this stuff and keep the money. And that's why theater chains became a thing and why theaters have survived to this day. And it's also why you have to pay like $10 for a large Pepsi or a Coke now, because they just gotten way out of line. But anyway, so to go back to selling popcorn on the street outside the theater, full circle. Everything what goes around comes around.
I did not know that,
so that's really going back to your roots there.
That's very interesting.
But that's actually a good idea.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I liked it.
it's a good idea.
DC Comics wants to make sure that all of the fans know that your comic book purchases and you wanting more to read during your quarantine is A-okay, because they are going to ship out new comics and stuff like that for all their fans. So you'll have plenty enough to read. They're doing something that is unlike some, like Diamond Distributor and stuff like that.
Yes.
They have already shut down, so DC's doing pretty well for themselves.
Are they? I haven't seen this article yet. Are they sending this directly to readers, or is this going to the comic shops, or
both?
It doesn't help the comic shops because a lot of the comic shops are having to close because they're non-essential.
I believe they said both, but mostly readers, because you can get online and see what they got and then order or whatever.
Now, we were discussing this before the taping, and I was pointing out, you've always been able to subscribe through the mail to these comic books. You just pay for a year up front, and they would ship it to you every month. Because if you didn't have, back in my day, like the early 80s,
when he invented the wheel.
in the early 80s, I would actually subscribe to books through the mail because some books I just couldn't get in Mount Sterling, Kentucky at the time, because it had a population like between 4,500 and 5,000 people at the time. There were not that many options for comic books, but also to make sure I got my copies every month. So again, what goes around comes around. This is basically a subscription model. What I'm surprised by, and I don't know if you thought about this or not, I'm surprised DC didn't start releasing new issues on the DC Universe app
You know,
to their subscribers, and just bypassing everybody entirely. Because believe me, DC, not as bad at Marvel as Marvel, but DC is not number one on any comic shop owner's hit parade.
That's the thing that I was trying to
Although
figure
they're
out.
better than Marvel at it, but
Is because not just the comics, but also the movies. Like, all these new movies and stuff are going to streaming services. Birds of Prey is not coming to DC Universe for some reason. Not for right now.
because it sucked.
Well, yeah, but like that.
It wasn't that bad.
The Batman, some of the Batman movies, some of the Superman movies, you can't find them there, and I'm just trying to figure out like what is
You know
going
why?
on. Why?
Somebody else is paying him more money for it. Funny, it seems like somebody who keeps talking about the business side of the streaming services pointed that out about 3 or 4 months
You
ago.
did. I know you did. Somebody's paying for it so it can't show on that
Netflix
thing.
is willing to pay more, like several $1 million for the rights to the Dark Knight trilogy, then
But I don't understand why they can't just do both. Like, if Netflix wants to, go ahead. But, you know.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Netflix, even though Disney was supposed to...
They pay extra for exclusive rights.
Even though Disney was supposed to pull everything that was Disney on Netflix off the shelf, Netflix still has Disney stuff.
Now, I'm actually...
So,
This seems like it's way off the point, but I actually have we have a cable subscription through Spectrum. So I'm watching TNT again so I can watch AEW on Wednesday nights, my wrestling on Wednesday nights. I am surprised at just how many Marvel movies are on frickin' TNT. Because Marvel is Disney. Of course, Disney doesn't have as many cable channels as Time Warner does. Time Warner owns DC, so of course TNT is showing Wonder Woman and all the other DC movies, but they're showing an awful lot of Marvel movies. They're showing, of course, Lord of the Rings, that's Time Warner, but they're showing a bunch of Disney movies too. It's whoever's willing to pay for it, and people are starting to notice that just because these studios have their own streaming services doesn't necessarily mean... I'm just checking because I couldn't tell if the boom mic was on.
well, please tell me it's on. It's on.
It's on. But anyway, you're going to start noticing that all these little studio-specific streaming services are just not panning out. It makes more sense to license your libraries to other people and let them pay for the infrastructure. You just keep raking in all that sweet free cash. And this is what I don't understand. These guys all these executives, these movie studio executives, they think they're going to be studs in bed if they have their own streaming service. You got to understand, if you're not bothering with starting your own streaming service and you're just licensing it all out and collecting that cash, all that cash, that's now more cash for you to spend on hookers and blow, okay? You don't have to worry about maintaining equipment or having to kick 7 or 8 figures a month to Amazon so that you can use their web service platform to keep your streaming service viable. But anyway,
Yes.
ask Netflix about that. They'll be happy to cuss you up and down about it. But anyway, you were saying, do you even remember where we were?
I have no idea.
No
I
idea.
think, well, other than the movies, should we go on that?
You were talking about trilogies. You know what? Let's do a separate episode on that. Things to watch while you're in quarantine. For once, I actually have a suggestion, and so we'll start that on another episode. Let me grab this little sucker. Yeah, this is my magic little weeble here.
The magic remote.
The magic remote. This is what allows me to say thanks for joining us for this episode of Geeking Out. Till next time, I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That is still Chris. Make sure you join us for the next episode when we discuss the new Warriors and what I think about it. And after that, we're also going to have, coming up later in the week, an episode about some new things for you to watch while you're stuck in the house. So,
oh, yeah.
And the best part is, you can do a lot of it for free if you're willing to make the effort. So, until next time, we'll see you, happy campers, and we are out of here.
Bye.
Well, more or less.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.